Back to the NFL. So this is what Josh Allen is saying. One of the more overrated players in the NFL, immense talent, but he makes a lot of mistakes. He's underdeveloped at winning the line of scrimmage, tends to lock on to targets, more of a thrower than precision passer, forces throws into traffic. All right, so that was one NFL veteran executive speaking on Josh Allen. Here's how Buffalo GM Brandon Beane defended his quarterback.
There's idiots everywhere. It's frustrating. You try to ignore this stuff, but Josh is going into year 7, and there's still the naysayers. I don't get it. To say he's overrated and to point out a flaw here or there it's ignorant.
I love Brandon Beane.
Yeah, I like that too. Way to
Brandon
defend
Beane,
your
that's
guy.
my guy.
Kimberly, is this assessment of Josh Allen fair or foul?
No, it's trash. That straight up, that's trash. And I understand frustrations when you watch Josh Allen because he's so good, and you're like, no. Sometimes you're like, don't throw it out. But you have those high expectations because he can do what so many other people cannot do in the NFL. I have covered the NFL for a very long time. I won't even date myself, but very long time. And in the years that I've covered the NFL since Josh Allen has been here, I have never had a scout, a GM, a coach, and anybody say anything close to that. That comment took me so, I was just, is this rookie year Josh Allen where you can pick some things? I understand accuracy issues early, and when Brian Daboll came, that offense seemed to get going. But now Josh Allen, we're talking about Josh Allen is good enough to win a Super Bowl. How do you even come out your face saying that? That's wild to me.
I'll always think back with him to that loss at Kansas City, what was it, 3 years ago, where he was, you couldn't have played better. Yeah. You couldn't have played better, and you came up short because Kansas City found a way to go one notch above what you did. That's the ceiling, though, right? If you're only going to focus on that, that's the ceiling for Josh Allen, and you realize it's a pretty damn high ceiling. He's right up there with everybody. What's the floor? When I buy a golf club, I don't want to know how good it looks when I hit it right. I want to know how bad it looks when I hit it wrong, because I hit a lot of bad shots. We talked about this a little bit earlier. A guy like Matthew Stafford, he's going to minimize the mistakes, right? He might not have the highest ceiling, but he's got a very high floor. Allen's floor can plummet at times.
Hold on, I'm trying to understand if my earpiece is working, because it sounds like you want to give credence to this, and I just can't buy that.
I can see why he takes the criticism, and it's going to be difficult to sit here throughout the course of the day and criticize Lamar, and then come right back and talk about Josh and be like, no criticisms there. He's solid. If I'm building the franchise today and you give me him as a quarterback, I'm as happy as can be.
He's solid?
But
he's a little better than solid.
Yeah, he's better than solid. He's up there.
I don't think Josh Allen is above reproach, but if you're talking about multi-interception type games, Matthew Stafford is a wild quarterback to say doesn't have those, because he certainly has over the last few years, and I'm extremely high on Matthew Stafford. I think he's one of the 5 or 6 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Look, I'll just say this about this quote, because we've hammered it right on this network for a bit. Rereading it, what really jumps out to me isn't the overrated part, but it's the part of the quote where the anonymous executive or whatever talks about Josh Allen and how he doesn't have command at the line of scrimmage. He talks about kind of what's going on between the ears, and that to me tells me this person doesn't actually watch Josh Allen, doesn't watch the tape. Because something that Josh Allen has gotten extremely good at is diagnosing pressure, setting protections, reading defenses. When he throws interceptions, guys, it's not because he's misreading the defense, it's because he has overconfidence in his arm, which, again, as Kim said, you can criticize him for that. He has become an extremely cerebral quarterback. So I guess that sort of invalidates the quote for me, setting aside the more incendiary aspects of it, because it's just a complete misdiagnosis of, even if you were to criticize Josh Allen, that's not what I would criticize him for.
I am fascinated to watch how he will be able to elevate the receiver room around him now that Diggs is gone, and he's going to be the guy that's tasked with being the rising tide that raises all boats. It's not to say it can't happen, but this is going to be an incredible challenge that he faces this year, given what he's had the last few seasons. But the confidence in the Bills to have no problem turning that over to him and saying, yeah, we can go out there and compete and win with a quarterback who can take a young guy like Keon Coleman with no NFL experience and get the most out of him. I think it speaks volumes within the organization as to what they think they have in him, what we've seen from him, and especially what we've seen from him at the highest possible levels.
Yeah, and as a rising tide here myself, that raises all boats.
Yo.
You know.
You just like lying in the shadows, don't you?
No, I'm just
lying
saying,
in the shadows like a
as
ninja.
like a rising, tide that just lifts all boats, kind of like a really nice yacht called Mollywood.
There you go.
I'm just wondering, Mina, with Josh Allen, what do you think he needs to do to be deemed a success this season? Does he need to get to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think every season for Josh Allen, success is Super Bowl because he is that caliber of quarterback. He is an elevator of talent. There's so few quarterbacks like that in the NFL. Joe is right about the fact that he is going to be challenged this way in a way that he wasn't when he had Stephon Diggs, although in the second half of the season, you really saw Diggs' role minimized in that offense. I'm confident that he can do that based on what we've seen. But yeah, he has to win a Super Bowl because of who he is and what he does for that offense.
Yeah, agree with that. We know he's the man. We get it. We know the talent that he has. But again, it's the Lamar, the Burrow, when you're at that point, when you're that elite, it becomes, how do you separate yourself? And it's really with the championship.
You're in this criticism category where you're on our network all day getting raked because you're that good. Right? There are quarterbacks that wish we were.
Do you have an
we were raking.
I wish you had an analogy for me, like the Ravens are the 76ers. Do
you like that?
That was wild.
Yeah,
no, we didn't like that. That was wild.
No, I just want.
it.
I want another analogy. Like, what's a Josh Allen analogy? Do we have a I'm putting you on the spot, Josh Allen.
I'll get in the lab. I'll cook something up.
Cook something up by like 4-minute commercial break, and then we only have about 8 minutes left. And
Can I live?
No, I have to
live for
get
5 minutes?
lunch and I have a 1 o'clock meeting. Like, people have things to do.